Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM and broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games. With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes, Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEVGamesAU.
My name is Evie, and I'm alone in studio again. But that's all right. We're going to hear soon from some of the co-hosts tonight. Tonight is a very special episode. Tonight is actually episode 520 of Zed Games. That makes it 10 years that this show has been running. It is a 10-year anniversary. I think 52 times 10 is 520. My math isn't good. But I know that it is 10 years today. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in every week to this small little community show that has been previously run by Ray and Jack and now myself, Evie. It is an absolute honor to bring the news to you every week, the gaming news, and to share insights from local developers, games, big games and little games, and from events around the country. So it's a special one. And the special one will always include, just because, it's episode 520, doesn't mean that we're not going to listen to the news. So we're going to be listening to the news tonight. The last week has been a very interesting week, so let's be sure to listen to that. Afterwards, there will be a pre-recorded segment from myself, Rani and Caitlin. We caught up early in the week to just hang out and chat and talk about our experiences on Zed Games, how it came about, and share a bit of the love. So that's what this episode is about today, is sharing a lot of the love. After that discussion later on, I'll be talking about Dr. McGonagall. We'll chat a little bit more about that. You have to hang in there. But it all leads into a nice conclusion for the show. I'm going to be talking live about something that I think is very important. And I think it's a pinnacle moment. 10 years, I think it's about time. So let's move into the first part of the show tonight. Let's listen to the news.
This week in gaming news, Disney shuts down Club Penguin clones amid abuse allegations. All unauthorized Club Penguin clones are being ordered to shut down after it has come out that some players are using the platform to share explicit and abusive messages. The BBC are investigating the unofficial Club Penguin reboot, which has had over 7 million players. The investigation has exposed the platform for hosting racist, homophobic, and sexually explicit language. The official Club Penguin was once an immensely popular teen hangout, then was purchased by Disney in 2007 as part of a $700 million deal. This was all before it was shut down in 2017. According to the BBC, content filters were disabled on multiple servers, and moderators had stopped removing inappropriate content. There have been incidents of sexually explicit messages shared, resulting in off-site Zoom meetings. Disney have said in a statement, "Child safety is a top priority for the Walt Disney Company, and we are appalled by the allegations of criminal activity and abhorrent behavior on this unauthorized website that is illegally using Club Penguin brand and characters for its own purposes. We will continue to enforce our rights against this and other unauthorized uses of the Club Penguin game." Minecraft sell over 200 million copies in 11 years. The milestone has come early to the developers Mojang Studios since the video game sales boom from COVID-19. Around this time last year, Minecraft sales were at 176 million copies, and that was at 91 million active players per month. Now, however, it is at 126 million active players per month. The head of the studio, Helen Chang, posted in the Microsoft blog saying, "In these extraordinary times, we are reminded more than ever before the important role games like Minecraft can play in providing an escape from the day-to-day and fostering social connections between friends and family." Ubisoft are suing both Apple and Google for selling a carbon copy of Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft are upset at both companies for allowing the Chinese company Alibaba to sell a mobile shooter, Area F2, AF2 for short, on their digital storefronts. The developer of Rainbow Six Siege has said that the AF2 is a near carbon copy of the game. Ubisoft have notified Apple and Google of the alleged copyright infringement, however both companies have refused to remove the title from the App Store and the Google Play Store. Ubisoft have said, virtually every aspect of AF2 is copied from R6S, from the operated selection screen to the final scoring screen and everything in between. The situation has turned into a lawsuit and will be pushed into Los Angeles federal court. That's all this week in gaming news.
Well, there you have it. That was the week in gaming news. There's a lot of tension out there. I mean, you're shutting down Club Penguin clones, and then you've got Ubisoft suing some giants there. You got Apple and Google. That's some big ones. Good luck, Ubisoft. Have fun with that. I do not envy you at all. So Rainbow Six Siege, apparently there's a carbon copy out there. Who knew? I feel like it's going to be a long journey before they see any outcome there, but we'll see how that turns out. And a celebration for Minecraft. Minecraft over 200 million copies. That's a lot of games bought. I actually don't play Minecraft because it gives me a headache, but 200 million of you out there really enjoy it, so nice work. As obviously, we've gone from 91 million active players to 126 million every month. Obviously, people are looking for things to do, and Minecraft is filling that need. It's fantastic to see that Helen Chang also posted that she's very happy that the game can provide such a meaningful place for people during a global pandemic. So that's awesome. That's fantastic. In other news that wasn't mentioned, I have been checking out some interesting, when you get lost on YouTube sometimes and you find some stuff, but Kotaku actually posted an article about a retro Nintendo games, a gentleman named Teppei Okada. He plays the violin and he plays along to the music of some retro Nintendo games. It's fantastic. He plays along to Legend of Zelda as well as Super Mario. That will be posted on the Zed Games Facebook page pretty soon. So at ZED Games AU, you can take a look at that. He even includes the sound effects of these games. So if you are looking for something that's really ingenious and really sweet, I really would recommend checking that out. So that's the week in gaming news. We are now about to experience some more insight on the fantastic 520 episodes of Zed Games. It is our 10-year anniversary today, or 10 years worth of shows. So we're having a little celebration, and part of that celebration, unfortunately, had to be taken place pre-recorded. Sorry, I can't speak. Pre-recorded earlier in the week with Rani and Caitlin, who can't be in studio. So let's tune in and listen to the conversation I had earlier in the week with Rani and Caitlin chatting about our time at the show.
I'm catching up with some oldies but goodies who haven't been around in a while, and I've missed them so much, is Caitlin and Rani.
Hello.
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 Are we really old?
Well, in terms of
I am. You're not, Rani.
I know, I'm such a baby.
In terms of being on the show and for being on the show for a long time, I mean, you guys oldies, you've been around.
I'm still definitely a youngin', but yeah.
I didn't mean to be you guys are old. Here's some people.
Yes, what's up?
Here's my friends who've been gone for so long, and I just like to insult them as I reintroduce them.
That's how it works. That's how we do it here in the radio.
Yeah. You got co-hosts, insult them, especially if they haven't been in studio for a while.
That's how we do it.
It's
That's how
so
we
good.
roll.
So good to hear you guys' voices. I've missed you heaps in studio. I've been very lonely.
Oh, I missed you a lot too. I missed everyone.
It's as they say at 4ZZZ, it's strange times. I hear that a lot on the airways. It's them strange
and
times.
uncertain.
Yes. So it's been a lot of that, but I'm grateful to hear you guys' voices, especially because it is officially 10 years the show has been running this week. So that's unbelievable. We've got to be up there with one of the oldest shows on the station by now, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
I was 12 when
Oh,
Zed
God.
Games started.
Oh,
I wasn't even back in Australia when the show started.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. So I wasn't even in the country, guys. That puts it in perspective.
Yeah, well, that's 2010, so I would
Yep.
have been probably just leaving high school, I'd say.
yeah, I'm not going to go into what I would have been doing because that's going to give away too much age-wise.
Caitlin's like, yes, I was doing exactly what I'm doing now, only.
I was still living in Tassie, to be fair. I was still living in Tassie, so
Oh, there you go.
that's something.
I don't know if the Zed Games listeners know that you're a Tassie girl.
Yes.
They do now.
The truth is out.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am still doing the same thing I was doing when I was 12, just to a different sort of degree. I still play the violin and I still play video games.
I was about to say, and you were still a co-host for like a national broadcast radio show at 12.
100%. I was doing that at 12. You know?
I mean, that's what I was doing. I don't know what you guys were up to. I'd just like to highlight the special moments. The special moments that we've had with Zed Games. I mean, I've been with Zed Games for 3 or 4 years, I think, off and on. And I think I remember, my first time reviewing a game on the show, and there was good old Ray and Lee still running it at the time, and I remember the game that I reviewed, which shall not be named. I gave it a star rating, not a star rating, an out of 10 rating. And I remember very vividly seeing Lee and Ray cringing across the studio as I was giving a rating to a game. Yeah, I've grown a lot since then. Since Zed Games began.
But we probably all have.
Oh, 100%. I had no idea what I was doing when Jack was like, hey, come do a review of the new Sims 4 expansion pack. And I was like, I have never been on radio before. I review music from the comfort of my own home behind a screen where nobody can throw anything at me. I don't want it. And so I did it, and I guess I stuck around.
How long ago was
last
that?
year. That was last year, probably for, I don't know, I don't even think it's been a year yet.
Okay. So
Yeah, probably not.
I'm gonna check.
Well,
I've been in it for, what, year and a half-ish?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've been more full-time than me, Caitlin.
Yeah, so
You must
It's
have only been
not-
there a couple of months, Rani, before I started up in,
Yeah.
it would have been end of September.
so I joined
last year.
in
Yes.
about
Yeah.
June, July, like end of June, beginning of July. It's almost been a year for me.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
See, we have to get you back in studio soon, so that way we can celebrate that.
Yay!
Hell
Party
yeah.
hats. I'm bringing party hats.
We've got to celebrate all this stuff,
It's exciting. It's exciting.
What about you, Caitlin? Do you have any special moments that you can think of?
Oh man, it's been really interesting seeing like the different directions the show has gone in. Like when I started, it would have been geez, it would have been August 2018 that I first met Jack and he brought me on board. It was, I don't know, it was a learning curve. Like, literally, it was just word of mouth through Twitter. He knew someone who knew me who was like, you'd be great for this. And I was like, all right, well, let's give it a go. It's not like I'm doing anything else on Wednesday nights. And I just have loved it. It's been wonderful. Like, I've gotten to meet, obviously, you guys, Millie and Jack and everybody that's sort of been on and off the show. Meeting Ray as well, because Ray was still on the show when I first started.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah, it was just at the end of him sort of being on the show still. And yeah, it's been really awesome to meet people. It's been really awesome to have the opportunity to talk about something I'm passionate about in video games and have so many interesting discussions about things around it. So I don't know. I think, okay, here's a highlight for me.
Uh-oh, here we go.
We did an episode where we reviewed something like, I don't even know how many Sonic games, but we reviewed like as many Sonic games as we were physically capable of reviewing in one episode. And it was hilarious. It was...
That sounds like madness.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but it was like a fever dream. Like, we literally, I think we were messaging the week beforehand and we were like, hey, so let's just do a whole Sonic episode. And we were always like, yeah! And yeah, it was whacked, but it was fun.
Should do that with Pokemon. I'm not even...
Oh, I would do that. 100%.
That's a great idea.
I mean, we should... I've still got my Nintendo SP somewhere, and I still have my DS as well. So,
oh my gosh,
realistically,
that would be great.
I mean, I don't have a Game Boy Color, so I can't really go so far back to go as like the blue and red. I think my Game Boy Color actually died, and I threw it out many years ago. Unfortunately,
oh, no.
I still have Ruby and Sapphire.
Well, I've only ever played Moon and...
Oh, yeah, then the DS.
And now Sword. Yeah, so I've only played those ones. Sword, Shield. I can't even remember which
Sword
one I have
Shield.
now.
Swoosh.
One of them, Swoosh. But the DLC is coming out hopefully still at the end of June. I haven't heard anything as far as it being delayed with everything going on, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's been a lot of little details that have been leaking out from Nintendo about what they're gonna have in the DLC, and I've been watching all of that.
I'm very excited. I was excited when they first announced it, and like Evie, you were saying the other day, we both have pre-ordered it. We were both like, get in there, pre-order it. I'm now concerned because I'm like, am I still going to be playing Animal Crossing every single day at the end of June? Entirely possible. I have played it every day since it came out. So
yeah, I've seen your dedication, Caitlin. You don't.
I regret to inform you that I've kind of half stopped playing Animal Crossing. It has nothing to do with the fact that I got bored with it. It has everything to do with the fact that uni literally does not want me to do anything but uni.
Fair enough.
And so my life just revolves around uni, practicing music, and work. And
given that uni and work are like intertwined for you as well.
Yeah, it's just like that's it. My workday ends, but it doesn't end because I do uni. So it's just screaming. It's just me screaming. I break it up with practice, and then it's just me screaming. My fingers are so sore.
Aww. Well, look, when you can come back in studio, we'll give you a big squish and a hug.
Yay!
Yes, we'll go have food. Go to restaurants. Yes. Oh my god.
I'm so ready.
What is a restaurant? What is this thing?
Put food in mouth, but outside. Sometimes inside, but not in your house. Amazing.
Best description of a restaurant ever.
Does that mean that if we have a picnic in the park is technically a restaurant?
Yes.
I love it.
It's decided. The Zed
You
Games
heard it
committee.
here first.
Yeah, we've decided.
I'm
Well,
very
guys,
keen.
it's been amazing chatting to you both. I'm looking forward to seeing you both very soon and here with me, and we can do a Pokemon episode again when we start getting closer to the
Yes.
I'm so
June
ready.
DLC, and I'll see if I can find a old Pokemon game of mine to talk about, because that could be good.
I'm
I
sure
have-
there would be emulators online as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We could always have a look-see on there.
I can talk to you about how much I hated Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a kid.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because they just released
I
that as well,
love-
didn't
They
they?
did, yes.
I love Pokemon,
Hmm.
but I really did not enjoy Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
We'll save it, Rani. We'll
I
hear
will.
it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy birthday to Zed Games.
Yes.
And
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, Evie. Bye, everyone.
Oh, there you have it. That was me chatting earlier in the week with Rani and Caitlin about our time here at Zed Games. It's always such a pleasure to hear their voices, and I hadn't spoken to both of them in a long, long time, so we ended up chatting for another whole hour after that, which is nice. So now we're gonna move into a new section of the show. Over the last few weeks, because I have been going solo in here, I've pre-recorded a lot of what I could to help give me a bit of space in here, since I'm alone in studio. But this week, because it's our 10-year anniversary, both at 4ZZZ and running as Zed Games, I thought that I would share something that I think is quite powerful and that I'd like to mention. And it all, hopefully, will come together nicely as I talk. So yeah, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to talk about a particular McGonagall. And no, not Harry Potter. Dr. Jane McGonagall. She is a world-renowned game researcher and an inventor. And I stumbled across her work as I was looking through Reddit, as you do, because you get bored and you go scrolling through Reddit. And I discovered her AMA on... Basically, you can ask her anything, and I didn't know who she was, and I was reading some of the questions, but I'll give you a bit of an idea of who Jane McGonagall is first. She is a game designer, and she invented a game called, or designed a game called, Super Better, which helps over 1 million people, currently still, recover from depression, anxiety, and traumatic brain injury. And in her AMA, she talks a little bit about what she does, and she believes that game designers are humanitarians, and that hopefully one day she would like to see a game developer win a Nobel Peace Prize. She's also written 2 books, and she also has 2 TED Talks with more than 15 million views on both of them. And I'm surprised that I did not know who she was, as I had studied games and I made games, and I still didn't know much about her. She is now an idol of mine. I am a big fan. So in this AMA led me to what Super Better is. And Super Better is basically a game that helps people with... You can sort of tailor your specific issues with this particular mobile phone app, and you can get it on Google Play and the Apple Store. It helps with chronic pain, anxiety, depression, or maybe if you just want to lose weight, or you're working out, or it's kind of almost like a habit-changing, but also a way to pull yourself out of a dark place. And she's had astounding results. People from all over the world have expressed their gratitude for Super Better. And she's even written a book on it. It's called Super Better, The Power of Living Gamefully. In the Super Better book, it actually sort of covers off on some of the psychology and the neuroscience of resilience and social support. It also looks at how people can overcome personal hardship. And it also talks a little bit about some of Jane McGonagall's personal struggles, which she does touch on in her TED Talks. And she's got 2 TED Talks. I watched them the wrong way around. There's one in 2010 and there's one in 2012. And the 2010 one, 10 years ago, is called Gaming Can Make a Better World. And she basically touches on how gamers, are really optimistic. They're very good at socializing, and they're happier when they're productive. But also, they're truly driven by meaning. And if you watch the TED Talk, you'll understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about. The second TED Talk, which she did in June 2012, is The Game That Can Give You 10 Extra Years of Life, which is where she talks about Super Better. And she goes on to elaborate on a couple of psychological things that this game sort of touches on, such as physical resilience, mental resilience, social and emotional resilience. And she uses Super Better as a way of not so much defeating, but overcoming the obstacles of anxiety and depression. And I am truly amazed by what she has accomplished, and I'm truly amazed at what games can really do for people. If you'd like to actually look at some of her content, maybe her books, or watch the TED Talks, which I implore you to do, there will be a post on the Zed Games Facebook page at ZedGamesAU. It will have the link to her AMA as well as both of her TED Talks, so you can check that out. But what I really want to lead into from thinking about and watching some of the content on Jane McGonigal is that games are really, really important, and I think they're probably one of the more underrated interactive experiences and creative mediums. People really value music, and people really value a lot of other forms of art and expression and creative expression, and yet somehow games gets left behind because it's childish, or maybe because it's for people in a basement. All the stereotypes revolving around that. But in actual fact, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that can literally eat the entirety of the music and the Hollywood industry, all film, twice over. People love games, and we've been playing as a species since the dawn of time. Play is so important, and games are just a way of facilitating playfulness. Play is very important for animals. Animals play. Animals play with each other because it strengthens and sharpens their tools for reality of their harsh existence, which may be fighting against bears or predators and overcoming odds. And games are a way for humans to facilitate and practice very similar situations. When you are involved in a game, you experience a feeling of sort of teleporting to a different world, but you're also reenacting a lot of your own personal values within that make-believe space. And that's just as important as in real life. And they're all training you. So I don't think it's fair that we think about games the way that we have, because it's not true, and it actually helps us be better prepared for when we have to face real global threats, such as the one we're facing right now. And another, I think because it's episode 520, it's 10 years of Zed Games, and I'd just like to celebrate games big and small. I would also like to acknowledge what they do for communities around the world, especially in a time of need. I would also like to extend that thanks to all content creators, musicians, creative media artists, and artists alike for being what we would consider an essential service during a time when people clearly need it the most, whether that be for escapism or for connection. Please do not take for granted the exceptional works that creatives give the world. And when all this is over and our lives resume to somewhat normal, don't forget what those artists have done for you and what they will continue to provide the world with. Just because your job may be different from a singer or a painter or a violinist, costume designer, or even a game maker, doesn't mean that it is of any less value. It is the creative people that paint the colors of the world, and the people that you can thank for all the forms of your downtime that you enjoy on the weekends with your families and friends. On behalf of Zed Games, I'd like to thank you all for the last 10 years of listening, and for all the creative experiences that all the creative people have given this show to talk about. Both the ups and downs, the laughter and the tears that we have shared in this studio. We look forward to many, many more years to come. On that note, thank you everyone for listening, and much love from Zed Games. All the best.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify or follow us on social media at ZedGamesAU. See you next time.